Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to AHS Celebrates, a tradition of service and support with community partners. My name is Bo Fernholm, and I'm the proud Dean of the UIC College of Applied Health Sciences, a role I've held for the past 11 years. Thank you for choosing to spend part of your evening with us. Tonight, we'll reflect on the contributions made by members of the AHS community as educators, discoverers, collaborators, and advocates. We'll recognize 4 outstanding AHS alumni, and we'll learn how we're working with community partners to help people live self-determined lives in a society without barriers. Tonight is even more special for me, as this will be my last as Dean of the college. Last month, I announced that I will step down as Dean to return to teaching and research full-time. I've agreed to continue to serve as Dean until my current appointment ends in August of 2022, or when a new Dean is appointed. When I began my deanship in 2011, I made it clear that I intended to serve no more than 10 years. Now in my 11th year, I believe the time is optimal for new leadership. I have no doubt that our college is poised to continue its upward trajectory to reach an even higher level of excellence under new leadership. Thank you for helping my time as Dean be one that I will always treasure. As the effects of the pandemic linger, we will continue to face uncertainties that will test our resolve as we work towards a world in which every person can live a healthy and self-determined life. But one thing we know for sure, our alumni, students, faculty, and staff remain steady to face whatever challenges await us. So for tonight, let's get started. The college is inexpressibly proud to be affiliated with an accomplished array of individuals. Tonight, we recognize 4 alumni who will exemplify what it means to be an AHS educator, discoverer, collaborator, and advocate. This evening's first honoree is Marie Jarrell, who earned a Bachelor of Science in Physical Therapy in 1987 and is the recipient of the 2021 Service Award. Marie is a program manager for continuous quality improvement at Breakout Health, which provides industrial sports medicine to businesses to prevent injury and keep workers healthy. In memory of her parents, she founded the Sunbow Foundation in 2016 to spread random acts of kindness to those in need. Since then, Sunbow's acts of kindness have included providing supplies for neighbors to build a ramp for a youngster with spina bifida, paying for a flight to reunite a cancer patient and his brother, donating and setting up furniture for an apartment for a formerly homeless woman and her children, and providing a dress and accessories to a teen so a teen could attend her prom. A cancer survivor and triathlete, Marie has raised more than $100,000 over nearly 20 years to benefit the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. She is head marathon coach in Illinois for its Team in Training program, which organizes endurance sports events to raise funds for cancer research. Marie, you motivate individuals to come together to make a big impact in their communities. The college is delighted to honor you as the first recipient of its Service Award. Congratulations. Marie, would you like to make a few brief remarks?
Well, I'm crying, so it might be a little hard, but thank you so much for this honor. I really appreciate it. I'm honored and humbled. Thank you so much. You know, my education at University of Illinois allowed me the career as a launching pad to do everything else I do in my life. So thank you. That's all I'm going to say.
Thank you, Marie. This year's New Alum Award recipient earned a master's degree in disability and human development in 2011 and a PhD in disability studies in 2016. The 2021 honoree is Robert Gould. Robert is an assistant clinical professor in the UIC Department of Disability and Human Development and director of research in the Great Lakes ADA Center. He works closely with community organizations in Illinois to increase the inclusion of people with disabilities in the workforce. He is also involved in projects in Uganda to improve the lives of people with disabilities in the East African nation. Robert serves on the board of Illinois nonprofit organizations promoting the rights and inclusive employment of people with disabilities, including the State Independent Living Council and the Association of People Supporting Employment First. He spent a month in Uganda through a 2019 professional fellowship program on inclusive disability employment, sponsored by the U.S. Department of State. While there, he led training and discussion on international human rights and worked with members of the Ugandan government to shape disability policy. He also helped raise money for solar panels to power computers at a rural school. Robert, your dedication to actively training and supporting communities for the empowerment of underserved people is truly inspiring. The college is privileged to honor you with this year's AHS New Alum Award. Congratulations. Robert, would you like to make a few remarks?
Sure, I'll make it brief. Thank you so much, Dean Fernhall. Thank you, Dr. Tamar Heller, for nominating me for this award. Thank you, Kristen, Keenan, Erica, and everyone who put this on. Thank you, Dr. Sarah Parker Harris, who's been my mentor from the start, from becoming a thesis graduate to advising students to parenting. It's really something special to turn my alma mater into my career. I feel a little bit like Peter Pan and Never Never Land, and just a little less flying and a little more reading. So thank you all so much.
Thank you, Robert. Our next honoree graduated in 1998 with a Bachelor of Science in Physical Therapy. The 2021 recipient of the AHS Loyalty Award is Allison Little. Allison is founder and CEO of M Street Pediatric Therapy, which brings early intervention services to the homes of children with developmental delays and disabilities in the greater Chicago area. Allison began her career as a physical therapist at Cook County Hospital. While earning a master's in health policy administration at the University of Chicago, she worked part-time providing in-home early intervention for high-risk infants on the south and southwest sides. She realized that she loved the challenges and opportunities providing in-home early intervention care to children and their families. She also saw the isolation and lack of support for clinicians who provide in-home care. So she combined what she had learned and her experience to start her own agency. Allison remains involved with the UIC Department of Physical Therapy by lecturing and offering clinical experiences for PT students. She frequently hires PT and OT alumni at her M Street practice. Allison, you are an excellent role model to health profession students and a stellar example of a UIC graduate who embraces and embodies the mission of UIC. Congratulations. Allison, would you like to make a few remarks?
Yes, but suddenly I'm finding it challenging to find the words to express my gratitude. But I really just want to say how extraordinarily grateful I am to my individual mentors and countless faculty and professors that I've had throughout, not just as a student, but throughout my career and into today. So I really just want to say thank you to, and many of them I think I actually see them on the call. I also feel like, I know everybody here knows this, but I just feel like I need to say how truly unique I think UIC is, from the faculty who teach and work here to the students who choose to go here. I think being surrounded by 3 extraordinary teaching hospitals, but also being enveloped in the west side of Chicago. I think, when I went to school at UIC, there was no West Loop Restaurant Row. The South Side hadn't been revitalized. So it truly changed my perspective on health and community. And so UIC truly set the foundation for my professional life, and I'm forever grateful. And so thank you for everything that you guys have given me over the years, and thank you for this recognition and the award. And I'm hopeful and excited to continue to be a part of this beautiful community for many years to come. So thank you.
Thank you, Allison. Our final award of the evening is the AHS Distinguished Alumni Achievement Award. Whoops. This year's recipient graduated in 1979 with a bachelor's degree in medical laboratory sciences. The 2021 honoree is Edward Mitsurbijian. Over a 25-year career as a healthcare executive, Edward Mitsurbijian helped improve the operations and finances of many underperforming hospitals and healthcare systems. When he became CEO of Antelope Valley Hospital in Lancaster, California, the only acute care full-service hospital in the area, he helped turn around an accumulated $18 million loss into a $24.6 million profit over 3 years. As regional CEO for Prime Healthcare Services, Edward oversaw operations and finances for 15 hospitals throughout California. At the same time, he was chairman of the board for West Anaheim Medical Center and La Palma Intercommunity Hospital. Edward was corporate CEO of Avanti Hospital Healthcare System, a 470-bed system of hospitals in southeastern Los Angeles. He was chief operating officer for Healthcare Partners IPA, one of the largest provider IPA companies in New York, where he managed 2,200 primary care physicians and 8,500 specialists. At Mercy Health Systems of Northwest Arkansas, where he was executive vice president and chief operating officer, he participated in planning and process for $140 million replacement facilities. His early career included several positions in Illinois, including vice president of clinical services at Broman Healthcare in Bloomington, vice president of operations at Integra Health Systems in McHenry, and vice president of patient care services at Memorial Medical Center in Northern Illinois and Lutheran General Park Hospital in Park Ridge. Edward, your work over the past 25 years has been instrumental in helping improve our hospitals and healthcare systems. The college is thrilled to honor you with this award. Congratulations. Edward, would you like to make a few remarks?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Dean. It's an honor to be recognized. I always were proud of myself to be a graduate of UIC. I want to thank the program and the college for their teaching and providing the foundation for me to be successful. I have been hospital CEO for over 20 years and over 5 states, but I never forgot where I'm coming from. I just want to make sure our younger sisters and brothers in the program to understand and set high goals and work hard. The rewards are unlimited, and I'm one of the rare creatures to prove that. And I want to thank the college for everything you did and you're doing right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Edward. Let's have one more round of applause for all four of our 2021 AHS Alumni Award winners. This concludes our AHS Alumni Awards presentation. Our exciting breakout sessions are next. I'd like to introduce Keenan Cutsworth, who will make a couple of announcements regarding the breakout sessions.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Keenan Cutsworth, and I'm the Assistant Dean for Advancement at AHS. Before we enter our breakout sessions, I would like to issue a quick thank you to our AHS Alumni Board. The Alumni Board has financially supported this event for several years and has also aided in promotional efforts. The board works to connect alumni with each other, current students, and the college through events and special programming. If you'd like to learn more about the board, please feel free to contact my colleague, Kristen Kepnick, by email at kkepnick@uic.edu. I'm going to drop her email in the chat, and the Alumni Board is always eager to connect with more AHS alumni. We have some excellent breakout sessions this evening, led by AHS faculty, students, and some of our fantastic community partner organizations. For these sessions, our presenters will begin by introducing themselves and proceeding to their formal presentations. Please hold your questions until the Q&A portion of the session, which will follow the formal presentation of each group. You can utilize the hand-raising function of Zoom at that time to ask your questions. During the presentations, you can also utilize the chat bar to ask your questions, and the presenters will get to those during the Q&A portion. Everyone will momentarily be moved to the breakout session they chose while they were registering for the event. Lastly, at the conclusion of the breakout sessions, we will all be moved back to this virtual main room for a brief closing of the event. With that, I hope you enjoyed the presentations and engage in some very lively conversation with each other and our presenters.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lindsay Streeter. I'm a clinical instructor in the Department of Physical Therapy here at UIC. I'm also the director of the UIC Children's Health and Wellness Academy, or HWA. I'm joined today by Dr. John Haybach, who is the president and founder of Altus Academy, Alfredo Villegas, the principal of Altus Academy, one of my former HWA students and current Doctor of Physical Therapy student, Tiffany, and Mateo Ortiz, an 8th grader from Altus Academy. So I think it's important to first let you know what the Health and Wellness Academy is and how it came to be. So when I joined the PT department in 2016, there were two really important needs that we saw. The first was the need to provide our DPT students with more experiential learning opportunities that would immerse them in collaborative and interprofessional experiences. The second need was to create a connection to the surrounding community. As our university obviously sits in the heart of the 3rd largest city in the US, and specifically our college sits in what has historically been an underserved community. So the most appropriate connection for our department and for our students we saw was really through the promotion of health and wellness. So according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Chicago's obesity rates are dire, with a 36.2% of high school students being overweight and a 61.2% of adults in the metropolitan area considered overweight or obese in comparison to the national prevalence of 42.4% of adults. And as we know, obesity can lead to many other serious health issues, and those most affected are low-income, underserved communities and African American and Hispanic populations, putting a burden on many of the families that are in our own surrounding communities. So therefore, by creating HWA, which serves as an elective course for all AHS students, both of these needs were met. My UIC students, through their mentorship, create meaningful relationships by making and eating delicious, healthy foods and participating in engaging physical activity with the kids. They also plan with their peers to create hands-on educational experiences, mimicking real-world collaborative interprofessional partnerships, and in turn, provide a program for youth that brings awareness to issues of health and wellness and empowers them with the skills to maintain a healthier lifestyle. So my partnership with Altus began in the fall of 2017. However, it actually began with a meeting during the summer before. I was looking to expand the program, and I first began searching school sites by location, knowing that I needed to find a convenient school where AHS students would be willing to travel to. So I made a phone call and I set up a meeting with Dr. Haybach. And during our initial meeting, we talked, and we probably kept talking about our goals. And I immediately knew this was a place that would be much more than just about convenience. It would truly be a collaborative effort that was going to bring about positive change for all involved. Our mission and goals were aligned, and it was clear from the start. We have a shared vision of empowering youth with the knowledge to make better choices. We also know that in order to achieve this vision, it takes the entire community. Everyone must be involved. The administrators, teachers, kids, and their families. Many of the families who attend Altus are seeking a better educational opportunity than their neighborhood schools can currently provide, very much coinciding with the mission of HWA and the types of communities our department wanted to collaborate with. Both Altus and HWA look to provide experiences that are authentic and meaningful to the entire school community and family in order to motivate that learning and behavior change beyond the classroom walls. And it is through our natural collaboration and continued communication that the partnership thrives and grows. We are always checking in with one another to make sure the needs are being met on both sides. And this open communication is essential for making this a successful partnership. So currently, HWA runs as an elective course for both fall and spring semesters. This fall, I have 28 Doctor of Physical Therapy students enrolled, which allows for a one-to-one mentorship with the kids in 1st through 5th grades every Tuesday. And we work with the 6th through 8th graders each Wednesday. We use the CDC and USDA National Health Education Standards to guide our practice. And I am very lucky to have a registered dietitian and nutritionist and former HWA student. I always like to make sure people know she was a former HWA student, Michelle Reich, to help plan and implement the nutrition portion of HWA. Our UIC students then help to plan the various health and wellness lessons for the kids during the physical activity portion that can range from putting together a nutritious meal plan for their family, acting out a skit about the effects of social media on physical activity. Maybe they're running through an obstacle course to find fresh fruits and vegetables, or they might even be planting a garden of their own. So at the end of the 16-week semester, I then look to the Altus students to become ambassadors of health and wellness for their families. With the help of their UIC student mentors, they have the opportunity to showcase their learning during an event I call Taste of HWA, where families are invited to taste the foods the kids made during the semester and also participate in some youth-led physical activities. It is always wonderful to see the kids become the teachers and then take pride in the knowledge that they have gained. So, I'm sorry, went a little too far. So to date, I have had over 180 UIC undergraduate and graduate students participate in HWA, and they come from all disciplines and all pre-health professions. I have had many applied health science students, but I have also welcomed students from other colleges and departments in the university, like the School of Public Health or the Jane Addams School of Social Work. I also have had several students come back to either take the course again and continue their connection with the kids, or I've even had students come back and volunteer on their own time because they have felt so passionate about keeping up that connection to this great school community. I have had a couple students, both from the coordinated nutrition program and our very own DPT program, receive university awards for their humanism and community outreach. I have publications based on the HWA model and our partnership. And finally, and ultimately, it is about the symbiotic relationship between UIC and Altus, in that my UIC students are gaining real world skills from their interactions with the kids, while at the same time, the kids are learning from them. So joining me today is Tiffany Basena. She is one of my former HWA students who also happens to have enrolled in multiple semesters with me in the program. And she can speak more to her experiences as a DPT student in HWA.
Yeah, hi. Thanks so much, Lindsay. So yes, my name is Tiffany. I'm one of the lucky UIC students that's fortunate enough to participate in Health and Wellness Academy as a physical therapy student. I actually first learned about HWA as an undergrad. It never fit in my schedule, but I had it on my radar and was really happy that it could fit in my schedule as a physical therapy student. So I started in my second year in the fall semester, and it was so fun and like such a wonderful experience that I decided to continue participating in the spring semester. Some reasons why health and wellness was really impactful for me was because I was able to engage with my community, especially meaningful during the isolation of the pandemic. So this when I say like my second year of physical therapy school, this was 2020, I think it was in 2020. So it was really in the height of a moment when it was really great to be in person with real people, eat yummy, healthy meals together as a group. Some skills that I was able to learn through this experience include interprofessional collaboration. So although there were a lot of other fellow physical therapy students, there were also some undergrads and like nutrition people. So that was great. I was able to develop. Yeah. I'm in the clinic right now. I was able to develop skills of educating, presenting, and developing age-appropriate lesson plans guided by CDC health education standards. And so as a future physical therapist, I'm a current clinician actually at a pediatric clinic right now. Fun fact, today is actually my last day here. So it's like after this meeting, I'm gonna go home. It's very sad. But health and wellness has really helped boost me in the aspect of planning fun, age-appropriate physical activities with children with diverse abilities, diverse ages, and to help promote their healthy development. So I'm really thankful to be able to have this experience under my belt. Thanks, Lindsay.
Thank you, Tiffany. Thanks for joining us tonight. All right, and for being in the clinic to do it as well. Thanks. All right, so I'm also joined by John Haybach and Alfredo Villegas. Alfredo, I'm not sure if John made it or not, but I'm gonna go ahead and let Mr. Villegas or Dr. Haybach go ahead and say some words on behalf of Altus and the impact that they've seen HWA have on Altus.
Thanks, Lindsay. Unfortunately, John is not on the call. He was held back at the school, but yeah, no, I'm more than happy to talk about the impact that this partnership has had on our school. This partnership with the College of Applied Health Sciences is sort of an ideal partnership for us. There's for many reasons. One reason, as Lindsay mentioned earlier, most of our families come from communities where there's a high risk of non-communicable diseases, things like obesity and diabetes. And so a healthy lifestyle is foreign for a lot of our parents and a lot of our students. And so for our students and our families to get a basic understanding of what it means to live a healthy lifestyle, it's just so meaningful. And, our kids are preparing healthy meals. They're bringing what they're learning at school back home. I don't mean to embarrass him, but I do have one of our 8th graders here on the call, Mateo Ortiz, who has been with us for 4 years now, and all 4 years he's participated in the Health and Wellness Academy. And just one story that I'd like to tell about Mateo is after school one day, his mom was at the school for a parent meeting or something, and we started talking about how things were going on, and the topic of the Health and Wellness Academy came up, and Mateo was standing there next to her, and I just checked in and said, how things were going. And she said, the best thing about this program is that it allows my kids to come home and cook for me. and she started telling us about, Mateo was buying groceries and ingredients that from the recipes that he learned through the program, and preparing meals for his parents at home. And so that's what we want. That's the type of impact we want in our families and our kids. And I'll let Mateo talk a little bit more about the impact it's had on him directly. Mateo, if you want to say a few things.
Hi, my name is Mateo Ortiz, but yeah, I really like the program because, well, as my mom said, yeah, I get to cook. I started to cook with healthier materials. I still remember some of the recipes. I remember the recipes for the little green burrito. It's the vegetable burrito, and then the broccoli, macaroni and cheese, then the strawberry shortcake. Yeah, I remember all those recipes, and so I still know how to make them to this day. So yeah, I really like the experience of actually getting to cook at school, actually getting to chop up everything, getting to do it on my own, because then I get to learn how to do it. I get to learn how to chop onions without crying. I get to learn how to cut an avocado. Yeah, it just helps me a lot with cooking, and I have gotten better at cooking through that. And although I know a lot of kids at the school don't really like the food, I love it, everything. I really like it. So yeah, that's.
Yeah. Thanks, Mateo.
No problem.
And aside from the educational component of all of this, teaching kids how to prepare healthy meals, the other meaningful part to this partnership is those meaningful relationships that our kids are able to build with some of the students and faculty from UIC. Like Lindsay mentioned, she has a group of 28 students this semester coming to our school, and we're a small environment, small body of students, and so we're able to partner or pair up all of our kids with one of the UIC students. And so just having those meaningful relationships is so critical for our kids, especially from the backgrounds that they come from. I believe that there's never too many caring adults for a student, for a kid. And so these students that come from UIC once a week, it's it's another adult that our kids can rely on, that they can say, I know this person's going to be here on this day at this time, and I know that they're going to be here to help me, live a healthy lifestyle, and I know we're going to have great conversations. And so, to be able to develop those friendships with these older students, it's just so meaningful for our kids, and you can see it in their faces. Lindsay comes in every Tuesday with her students, and my kids tell me all the time, Tuesday's my favorite day of the week because I know Lindsay will be here, and I know my mentor will be here. Those are the real meaningful components to all of this. The other part that came through all of this, really, through this introduction, was this additional partnerships that were formed by all of this. So working through Lindsay and Ross Arena, we were able to develop and create a school-based health clinic, which was sort of a dream of ours from the start when we created the school. And so we have a clinic now at the school that's available to all of our families with the same model as our school. We're a private independent elementary school, and although we're a private school, we don't charge tuition for any of our families. We try to eliminate the barrier of a quality private education that our parents just couldn't afford, even if there was an option for them. And so we have the same model with our clinic. There's no charge for our families for the services they receive at our clinic. And it's, there's a nurse practitioner from the university that comes in, and she brings some of her students to staff the clinic. So these are the type of partnerships that we're looking for, that there's room for growth, and we can keep collaborating. So I hope that paints a picture of how happy we are with this and how thrilled we are. And, Lindsay's great. Lindsay, I mean, she can make things happen, and the fact that we can communicate every day that she's there. So we're just so thrilled about this, we're just so happy about this. And so I hope that kind of paints a picture of this all.
Thank you, Alfredo. Thank you, Mateo. Thank you both. So as Alfredo was kind of alluding to, I'm sorry, we skipped here. There we go. Sorry about that. So it's, there we go. Okay, because I'm clicking on here. Okay, sorry about that. Currently, I have IRB approval to study the educational efficacy of the HWA program through both longitudinal pre and post-test surveys. I'm hoping to gain insight into the impact of HWA on student learning and behavior through this, and how to modify HWA in order to continue and expand the growth and knowledge. There's definitely other research questions I would like to explore as well, including studying the impact of the mentorship experience on my UIC students, and to see if behavior change also occurs within this group as well. I, along with John and Alfredo, would love to seek out more family connections by creating a fitness center for the Altus families, and give them a safe space to be physically active. A full working kitchen would also help bring families in, and we could implement cooking classes, perhaps even having the kids lead some, or if not all of them. And finally, we've always maintained that the relationships between the UIC students and the kids are incredibly important and truly create positive sparks, that we would love to see some formal structure in place to create a pipeline program of some sort where the Altus youth who are interested in the applied health sciences could continue their relationship with UIC in some capacity. There are clearly many avenues for future growth. And as Alfredo mentioned, we see even with HWA and the clinic that started, what starts out as just an idea or even a dream in the very initial talks of our partnership really can come true and become reality. So I am going to kind of end our time today by giving everyone a small sneak peek into a typical physical activity portion of HWA, where you can see the type of meaningful engagement that takes place each week and you're going to see their warm-ups. So they're all in their small groups, and they're really warming up for the bigger lesson. So I just want to say, as director of HWA, I have been incredibly lucky to witness these interactions, be part of this partnership each week. I get to see the growth that takes place in both my UIC students and the Alta students, and it really is incredibly rewarding. This partnership, it's had a profound impact on me as well. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for letting us share our story with you today. And please let us know if you have any questions.
I've got a question to kick things off, Lindsay.
All
Andrew.
right.
Are there any organizations or individuals that perhaps might be from some other health professions that you think could add to the partnership, and what might that look like?
Yeah, like I said, we've collaborated with a couple different departments here in AHS and also some different colleges, like the College of Nursing. I know, in discussions that I've had with Dr. Haybach and Mr. Villegas, I mean, there's so many avenues I can think of in terms of even dentistry and pediatric, dentistry with the kids and setting up a clinic in that way. I can see, I've had students, like I said, who were preparing for a career in social work. And I think it was, a goal for them to be able to work in the community and get a better sense of what maybe their profession would look like if they entered the school setting as a social worker or a counselor or something like that. So it's honestly endless. I don't know. I really don't want to stop it anywhere. I feel like, I didn't even mention, but we've had like English majors, you know what I mean? It's anyone. A lot of times I'll have a student who they know they might end up in some sort of pediatric field, whether it's an OT or PT or anything, but that tends to be kind of what gets them, motivated to join. But then really after that point, they'll kind of bring in friends, and it's word of mouth, and they'll know that it's much more than even about their interaction with the kids. And so, yeah.
If I could just add on to that, a lot of our kids, based on their background and the, where they're coming from, a lot of them have experienced serious trauma in their lives at one point. And so, we're currently talking with the Department of Nursing or College of Nursing about focusing our services on mental health, being able to provide services for our families and our students, whether it's through social workers or being able to get counselors at the school. So that's another clear partnership that we're currently exploring. Actually, we're already in talks about this. And so, like Lindsay said, there's so many avenues here. And with me and John, sort of the leadership here at the school, we're open to anything. we had this dream, 10 years ago to open a health clinic in our school, and we just didn't think that would be possible. But here we are, with a full staffed clinic at our school and being able to provide these services for our families. So like Lindsay mentioned before, I think anything is possible when you have the right people and the right partnership. So we're definitely open to other partnerships like this.
Sam, do you have a question?
I can have a question. I was mostly just clapping because I really appreciated that answer. But I guess a question I have for Lindsay in particular is, I hear you have IRB approval, which is just fantastic. Is this a part of a doctorate project, or is this just part of your work at UIC?
Part of my work at UIC.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, I would say it really kind of started out as conversations with Dr. Arena, the head of our department. And we literally sat down and thought, oh my goodness, there are so many research questions that could be involved in this program. Having had a background in education, I also know how important it is to analyze my own pedagogy, right? So I want to make sure that what I'm doing is making an impact on these kids. So I think, that was sort of my number one priority with being able to study the educational efficacy. I just wanted to make sure that whatever I'm doing is working, right? And then as conversations continued, I think it was, and you would read some of the responses from some UIC students or listen to some of the kids at Altus, you realize there's a lot that we can be looking at. So yeah, just part of the job, I guess.
Well, I've been around you working in this program for the last 5 years, and it's just amazing to see where it's come, truly. You've done just unbelievable work. So thank you for presenting on the amazing impact it's had.
Thanks, Sam. And I should give you a plug too, Sam, for the Health Tech Jam. I forgot to say that. That's another way we partner with Altus. So Sam has her Health Tech Jam that she collaborates with the Altus community as well. So thanks, Sam.
Which is another fantastic AHS function, I will say. Lindsay, are there any volunteer opportunities for community members or other folks associated with the Academy?
Yeah, like I said, I've had students who have come to me before who've graduated and are just looking to stay connected. They want to be able to keep giving back to the community, and this is one way they can do it. I know it's just something where all it takes is just a conversation, I think, with the administrators at the school, Mr. Villegas, and we can certainly, I'm pretty sure, I don't want to answer for Mr. Villegas, but I think we would be open to any volunteers.
We take all the help we can get. Yeah, that's for sure.
That's right. I mean, a lot goes into, we're not necessarily there for a long time, but there's a lot of prep that goes into working with the kids. There's a lot of cleanup. So, even a little bit counts. We're open to anyone and everyone.
Fantastic. And I've got one more pre-submitted question that I can pose before we go back to our main room. And that is, what do you think some of the ways that that philanthropy could impact the program might be, if you've thought about that before?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll let Mr. Villegas add more to this as well. But like I mentioned earlier in my future growth plans, we're always talking about how can we pull the families in, more. The whole vision behind HWA was really to instill these lessons early in life, but to also then have these kids become ambassadors and really make these connections to their families at home. So one way we can do that is really, we have this event where the kids get to teach their parents, but how could we do that on a bigger scale, a larger scale? And I think some of the things we talk about is like the idea of a fitness center or having more like fitness equipment for the adults, for the parents or families that come into the school. As I mentioned, a kitchen. Right now, we make it work with what we have, but we would love it if there was like a full kitchen or be able to use a full kitchen and students had access to that. And again, like I said, I truly could see a lot of our students really taking on that role of teaching those classes. So I don't know if Alfredo, you want to add anything more to that?
Yeah, we're just always looking for different avenues to raise more money for the school, and to be able to support programs like the Health and Wellness Academy. Although I wish I could write Lindsay a check to upgrade the kitchen, we just don't have the resources to do that. So, we're always looking for different ways to raise money. And I think the Health and Wellness Academy is a perfect way to do that. It's attractive to a lot of donors. We raise all of our money privately at the school. We don't charge tuition to our families. We don't receive any federal funding. So we raise everything privately through private donations from generous donors. And so, I think this is one way to kind of market our school, to sell our school to people. The whole component of, the science and the educational part with healthy living. And so, we're open to anything.
Thanks so much for that, Alfredo. And with that, everyone, we've got to get back into our main room. So just momentarily, you will all be moved back. And again, a special thanks to Lindsay, Alfredo, Mateo, and John, and Tiffany. Thank you all so much.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
There we go. All right, Ashley, did you want to get started?
Yeah, is everybody in the breakout rooms? It looks like there's still a few that they're assigning.
Let me go ahead and pop a message over.
Perfect. Looks
Yes,
like
I think-
Sam, we need Sam to, yeah, there we go. I think he's
Sam
set.
Rudinsky.
Perfect. All right. I think then, yes, we're ready. Grace is going to start us off, I believe.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody, and welcome to this breakout session. The title, Learning Together, an Innovative Community Partnership in Service of Individuals with Down Syndrome and Their Families. And our organization is Gigi's Playhouse Chicago. And then we are going to introduce ourselves. My name is Grace Glenny, and I am the site coordinator at Gigi's Playhouse Chicago.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jennifer, and I'm the program coordinator at Gigi's Playhouse. Sam, would you like to say hello?
Yes, I do. Hi, I'm Sam Rudinsky. I'm a intern at Gigi's Playhouse Chicago.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ashley Stoffel, and I'm a clinical associate professor in the Department of Occupational Therapy here at UIC.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jenica Lee, and I'm part of clinical faculty at UIC.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Vanessa, and I'm a second-year OT student at UIC.
Hello, I'm Lauren Duffy. I am an alumni of the UIC OT department, and I am currently on the therapeutic programming committee at Gigi's.
And at Gigi's Playhouse, so Gigi's Playhouse is a Down Syndrome Achievement Center where we offer free therapeutic and educational programming to individuals with Down syndrome in the Chicago community and their families. And our mission at our Playhouse is to change the way the world views Down syndrome and to send a global message of acceptance for all. Pretty lofty mission, but we're working towards it every day. And one thing that's really unique about Gigi's Playhouse is we are a one-of-a-kind achievement center. There really is nothing out there like Gigi's, and
with 55 Playhouse locations across the US and even one in Mexico, we are just continuing to get our message out there of global acceptance for all. And all of our programming is free to our families. This is huge. And it's, you know, we offer everything from therapeutic, educational, career development programming that goes into as well math, literacy, motor skills, and so much more at the Playhouse.
Yeah, and as Grace was saying, all our programs are free to our families. We never want cost to be a barrier for anybody that walks into our Playhouse. Currently, we have 13 programs running. That includes dance and yoga, epic, teamtastic, and cooking club. We also have one-on-one programs, which is math, literacy, and speech tutoring. Our programs range from like prenatal to adulthood. We're also currently growing our internship program that has recently been very successful. And we're also very happy to have one of our intern here with us today, Sam Radinsky. Sam, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hi, my name is Sam. I'm 24 years old. I goes math skills, fine manner skill. I have a pet. I have my parents. I have 2 brothers. And I do at Gigi's. I am a yoga teacher at Gigi's Playhouse. And I teach kids yoga and teach poses to them.
Very good, Sam. And is there anything that you want people to know about Gigi's Playhouse?
Gigi's is so awesome because I did my internship there and I teach kids and parents how to do yoga and stuff. I teach yoga stories and I play with kids and babies also there.
Awesome. That's great, Sam. Do you have a favorite yoga pose?
I do. Cobra.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Sam.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So as you can see, our programs focus on all of these skills listed, whether it's working on social skills, motor skills, or speech and language, or just simple peer interaction. It's all purposeful fun.
So we're excited to really be celebrating 10 years of a partnership with UIC and Gigi's Playhouse Chicago. So when we started looking back at kind of how this started, we realized in 2011, which was 10 years ago. So it's a really exciting year to be celebrating this tonight with you all. And we started the formal partnership with what was then called the Urban Allied Health Academy, which is now called the Health and Diversity Academy. And this was at that time a college-led academy that our students from OT as well as from other programs within applied health sciences were a part of and can do service learning hours at various community agencies. And we were really fortunate that Gigi's Playhouse has been one of them and has been a really strong partner for us over the last 10 years. And as you see here, we went back and tried to calculate how many students. We probably didn't get it exactly accurate, but we know at least 35 OT students from our master's program, from our OTD program, as well as even some of our undergraduate students and honor students have also volunteered at Gigi's through a variety of these programs that you've heard about already. So we are really thankful and grateful to Gigi's Playhouse for the partnership with UIC, and we're excited that we're here to celebrate these 10 years tonight.
So we're so lucky to have the partnership with UIC OT department. Without them, we would not be able to run the programs listed here on this slide. We've also been able to add new programs because of the amazing volunteers that we've gotten. So I oversee the UIC students who come from the Health and Diversity Academy. There's about 2 students assigned to each group, and they run Teen-tastic and Cooking Club are run every other week by different OT leaders, and they do lesson plans. They figure out they work with the teens, first of all, to figure out what they want to do week to week. They pick recipes for Cooking Club. They pick activities to plan for Teen-tastic. And so it's really collaborative. It's a great way for the OT students to get exposure to working with different people. And I think, Sam, that you guys really enjoy also working with the OT students, so that it makes a really fun partnership. So dance and yoga is led by our very own Sam Radinsky. He was an intern for a yoga program from a grant that we received, and now he leads that program. It's for individuals with Down syndrome from 7 to 12. Teen-tastic and Cooking Club are for our teens, 13 to 21. And that Teen-tastic is a very empowerment and self-determination focused group. They decide what they want to learn. Right now they're working on SMART goals. And we've, in the past, when I led Teen-tastic as a Health and Diversity Academy student, they from start to finish planned a whole family picnic for Gigi's families. So they've done a lot of really fun things. They've done fundraisers and a bunch of other stuff. Cooking Club is just like what it sounds. They pick different recipes and cook in our kitchen at Gigi's. They do anything from setting the table, taking out all the tables and chairs, doing the actual cooking, and then cleaning up, doing dishes, vacuuming, all of that. So we get a lot of really great skills in there in that group. And then Epic Journal Club is our newest one. And that's a group where it's for older adults, and they focus on writing blogs for Gigi's Playhouse, the website. But it's mostly focused on learning about their self-determination, self-awareness, and writing about things that interest them. So that's our newest group, just started this year, so we're still growing that one. But with that, these are all led by our UIC OT students, and we couldn't do it without them, so thank you.
So in addition to involvement with the Health Diversity Academy, Gigi's is one of our official fieldwork sites. So for participants who are not familiar with the term, fieldwork is an integral part of the student's occupational therapy education and is actually a requirement for graduation and professional certification. So Gigi has both level 1 and 2 placements, although most of our students will complete their level 1s at Gigi's, not so much the level 2s. So this slide basically summarizes the nature and the focus of the different fieldwork experiences. They're all a little bit different. And so, for example, with the level 1A fieldwork at Gigi's, which takes place in spring 1 semester, the focus is to provide opportunity for our OT students to develop, implement, and evaluate group activities designed to address the psychological and social needs of the members at Gigi's. So students will usually either enhance, develop new groups, or such as the Thursday Teen-tastic and Cooking groups that was mentioned before. And versus the level 1B and 1C field work placements is a 4-week experience that takes place during summer 1. And those are specifically designed with an emphasis on helping students develop professional behaviors, begin practice skills, and also understanding and appreciation of the psychosocial issues influencing engagement and occupation. And then level 2 is a 12-week placement, clinical placement that occurs in spring 2 and after when students complete all their didactic classroom requirements. And the focus there is on the application of occupational therapy theory and development of clinical reasoning skills to become a competent entry-level generalist occupational therapist.
So not only have we had the amazing opportunity to have the UIC OT students work with our participants in programming, we have also had the opportunity for them to work with our staff and our board members. And through that, being with their program evaluation class. And it's been an awesome opportunity for us as a Playhouse to kind of step back and get another person's perspective of how we run our programs, how we run our volunteer program, which was our most recent needs assessment that we've received from UIC. And the purpose of this class and promoting that is, just checking in to make sure our protocols and our processes make sense and how they work, and getting that student perspective, which has been wonderful. And keeping our programs sustainable. There's a lot of change that happens, especially these last couple of years, where we've needed to make adjustments, and we're able to see that OT lens come through with that, which is wonderful. Some past evaluations that we have had: our Art Explosion program, our fitness program, dance and yoga, literacy and math tutoring, community participation, which is also another one. And like I said, most recently, our volunteer program and onboarding at the Playhouse. And specifically with that one, we were working with these students, and these past 2 years have been very difficult, and have changed our process. And so being able to have that outside perspective of someone that maybe hasn't been a volunteer at the Playhouse before has been wonderful. So we were able to take our students, UIC students' perspectives, and plug them into what would make sense for us now. Some ideas worked, some ideas didn't, but that's the beauty of mutual learning. We're learning from each other, which has been great. And from this evaluation plan, we as a Playhouse were able to receive very detailed logic models and different tools, and being able to use as a Playhouse for moving forward to just help our processes in general.
So as students in this partnership, we have so many opportunities to learn by doing. It's a great chance for us to apply course content in practice and in the context of a community-based organization that's supported by volunteers. This is also a chance for OT students to gain exposure to working with folks with Down syndrome, both in one-on-one and in group settings. And this exposure in turn supports students to be better advocates for people with Down syndrome.
And I feel like I could go on with the impact of the Playhouse from our UIC GG's partnership. And like I said before, not only are UIC students working with our participants, they're also have this relationship with our board and staff as well. And this opportunity, gives us that opportunity to have them join us. So we've been lucky to have enough, a couple UIC students join our board and move into those leadership committee roles, which has been wonderful. Another huge impact on us has been, I think, just outreach and being, we're so grateful to be in a city with lots of universities, including UIC, and we've had great participation with a couple of our events where we have had UIC teams for our fundraising, and it's been so great to see the students just reach out to friends, reach out to different committees within UIC to help our Playhouse grow. And continuing improvement on program delivery, I think that goes back to our program evaluation and the UIC program evaluation class. There's always room for improvement. I don't think anything's ever perfect. So continuing to get that perspective has been great. And then impact on our participants. I think Lauren said it great too, that it's been fun for everybody. Meeting new faces and creating those relationships has been incredible. And keeping our programs free. I mean, it's a lot to do as a nonprofit organization and be 99% volunteer run. So all the help and support to keep these programs free for our families. And another huge impact is being presented to us tonight with Sam being able to help us guest lecture with this awesome presentation. So thank you, Sam. And I also wanted to ask you real quick if you had any other thing to add of impacts of being a participant at GG's. I'm kind of throwing you on the spot a little bit.
thank you, Grace, for. She's asking how did it affect you? Oh, how's it? Did it affect me? I feel excited and I feel happy at the same time.
Those are great feelings to have. Well, Sam, you have worked so hard this past summer with your yoga program, and we are incredibly proud of you. And thank you so much for joining us tonight and preparing your questions. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Mhm.
So as a Superstar Value Community Partner, we would like to continue our partnership related to all these different areas with Gigi's, including continued involvement with teaching, research, and scholarship related initiatives. Some of you know that we are phasing out of our MS program and launching our new entry-level OTD program next fall. So we foresee continued collaborations and really looking forward to growing our partnership and looking for opportunities to involve GGs with our EOTD as well as our post-professional OTD programming, including possibly becoming a site for our students to complete their advanced practica as well as capstone projects.
All right, so thank you everyone for all of your lovely presentations about Gigi's Playhouse. Right now we're opening it up to questions from the audience. So if you haven't already, please type in the chat field. If it's down, if you hover on the bottom side of your screen, about the middle, it says chat. Go ahead and submit your questions for the presenters and I will field them to all of our speakers. So we did get one question so far, and I did get a few submitted before the event. The first one is, what do you think are the key factors that have contributed to 10 years of partnering and mutual learning? Who wants to take that?
I can take that. I mean, I think I've been at Gigi's for about 2 years now, and the amount of support that I've seen in the last 2 years, I can't imagine for the past, other 8 that I haven't been able to see. So the communication, and I feel like when anyone walks in the door at Gigi's Playhouse, you are instantly hooked. And I feel like all of our volunteers and UIC students that we've had can attest to that as well. So I think it's, the incredible partnership and our participants and our families and just the willingness to continue to learn and continue to grow together has definitely proved our partnership these last 10 years.
All right, thank you, Grace.
And if I can add quickly from the the department side, I completely agree, Grace, and I love how you talk about just this partnership because it really has been from the very beginning. I started in 2011 at UIC and became the OT department site liaison with the site a few years after that. And just seeing the change in our students, right? And they started out in the Health and Diversity Academy and then really just blossomed from there and took on leadership positions, brought in our other students as well from OT as well as from other departments into some of the groups and volunteer opportunities. So I think our students, the excitement and enthusiasm that they bring, and they get that from the Playhouse and just the structure and the organization that you all have there and the community that you've built, and really enfolding our students and our department into that and really bringing back to us then the needs that you all have as well. So it's been a really wonderful partnership, that win-win for all of us, which has helped to sustain it.
All right, thank you, Ashley. Here's another question. Could you provide some examples of how the evaluation process has produced some beneficial changes?
I can attest to that too. I think with COVID, I'm specifically thinking about the volunteer program evaluation class that I worked with the students on. And, especially last year, you get so focused in on, what was going on last year and seeing that, but being able to have that new perspective of, I'm trying to think
Uh-oh. Did we lose Grace? Looks like she's frozen. So does anyone else want to?
Sorry, guys. Looks like Grace's computer completely died.
Yeah. So does anyone else want to chime in on that question?
If I may, I will be happy to answer part of that question as I the one who teach the pro evaluation class.
However, I'm right here.
The evaluation plan Jasmine and Anthony developed for the volunteer program lay out specific steps on how to increase volunteer at GG, and then how to provide incentives for volunteers or promote volunteers. And that was one of the aspects that they were looking forward to be able to have a roadmap of how do we promote volunteerism and how to promote the people who are already volunteering. And Johnny, Popo, I know you were there, but you also were part of the first evaluation that we presented to the board. You want to speak about it? It speaks to the benefits.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I think program evaluation has been a huge element of our Playhouse's success. In the past, it almost seemed like a lot of our programs would start over every single time we got a new cycle of volunteers or students come in. We've been very fortunate to be able to get students on an annual basis that volunteer their time and commit to running our programs. In fact, they're running a really eager hockey game right now on the other side of the wall. And through program evaluation, we've been able to have systematic tracking of what we do, the outcomes that we're looking for, the key activities that we do, and actual documentation before I don't know why you would think that document sharing would happen before program evaluation, but for some reason it was program evaluation that taught us the beauty of Google Drive. So I would say that program evaluation that Yolanda brought and taught me, and I was able to bring to the Playhouse and bring Yolanda into the Playhouse too a couple of times, really helped us to just be more systematic in our approach and set longer impact and vision for what we want to do, and really grow our board as well. As Lauren is going to be joining, I'm currently serving as the president of Gigi's Playhouse Chicago, and Lauren Duffy may be joining us as a board as well. So we're going for full-blown OT program evaluation domination on a board. So I would say OT keeps our Playhouse running.
All right. Grace, did you want to finish what you were saying before you were frozen?
I think Jenny hit it out of the park with that one.
Okay.
Difficulties over here. It happens.
Yeah, it happens. We totally get it. Okay, another question is, there used to be a support group for Spanish-speaking parents at Gigi's a few years ago. Is that group still active?
I can answer that one. The families actually have created kind of their own little community. But with UIC being so diverse, we've been able to get students, myself included. I graduated from UIC as well. And coming into there, I was able to go ahead and come in there and just kind of meet those needs that the Spanish-speaking families needed and questions they've had, and just let their voices be heard as well and included. So at the moment, I don't think there's a specific group together, but the families do come together, and I'm there as well to kind of support their needs. But like I said, UIC has been great, and because it's such a diverse university, we're able to get volunteers coming in periodically and volunteer with helping the Spanish-speaking families.
Okay, great. Thank you, Jennifer. What programming is available for parents of the participants at Gigi's? Are the OT students involved with that at all?
We've had some programs with parents. I think our younger ones, parents are always involved. We've recently also in the summer had a Mommy and Me yoga group where the parents were directly involved with the participants. So they would also kind of learn some tips about it, about how to implement all the things they were learning in the programs with their children.
And I think too, with our LMNOP and Crawlers and Walkers program, which is for individuals, ages 0 to 3, or sometimes even prenatal. I've seen a lot of families come in that, their little one hasn't been born yet. However, the families want to learn and just soak up any bit of information that they can. So I've seen families that come in and they just sit in the background, or even depending on, how comfortable they are, talking to families, talking to program leaders, asking those questions. And that's specifically for our little ones, but you never know what family can get out of what, or being able to support each other. So especially for that young age group, when you're a new parent trying to figure everything out.
I can add a little bit to that too. I think for those of you that have not been to the Playhouse before, I think one of the really cool parts is that there's a whole lounge that is dedicated to the parents when the teens or any age participant is doing their programs. So during the teen programs, for example, Cooking or Teen-tastic, I often see parents hanging out in that lounge, talking to each other. They talk about, what programs they're doing outside of school, and they share ideas of other community activities. So there's a lot of parent collaboration going on during the programs while their teens are having fun in the other room. And then also going off that, the UIC students create adapted recipes for cooking each week. And those recipes go home with the teens. And so there's a lot of that carryover with the parents then to practice those skills at home with their family.
Okay, great. Thank you, Lauren. I do have a comment in the chat field from a Mancha Mirza. Sorry if I mispronounce your name, saying that they have a book recommendation for Sam that they can share via their camera if they are listening and they want to do that now. Okay, maybe not. Let me ask maybe a couple more questions, and then I know we have to go back to the main room at 6:25. So we just have about 4 more minutes.
Mancha's showing her book. I don't know if you could stop sharing the screen, maybe that would help see it.
Thanks, Heidi. Oh, Mancha, we can't see the book because it's a little blurred. Oh, there you go. Good night yoga. Oh, very nice.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. Are there other organizations or individuals, perhaps from other health professions, that could add to this partnership? What might that look like? Who wants to take that on?
I can take it. We actually do have some other people from other programs helping out in other areas from other schools as well, but I think adding to that partnership from UIC would be amazing. We have PT students who run some of our more fitness focused groups. We have speech students who help out with our LMNOP and other groups. We have special education programs who help out with our tutoring. And I'm drawing a blank, Jenny and both Jennys, on what the other program is, for the other person who comes on Thursdays to help out. She's often taking pictures. I can't remember the name of her program.
If you're thinking of Shannon.
Our child thank you. Yeah. Totally just slipped out of my mind. And her program, I can't remember.
Child life specialist.
Yes, child life specialist. So she's there as well. And so there's a lot of areas within the Playhouse that we can collaborate on with all the different programs that we have.
Great. So if no one else has any other questions, looks like, yeah, we can move back to the main room unless Grace or Jennifer, did you have any kind of closing comments on anything?
Yes, I just said, here's, I'm the site coordinator at the Playhouse and Jennifer's our program coordinator. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We are always looking for volunteers as well. If you're interested, please send us an email and we would love to have you and show you around the Playhouse.
All right, great. All right, let's see how we can, if you click leave room, on the lower right-hand corner of your screen. It will kick you back to the main room. All right, thanks everyone.
Education and the UIC Assistive Technology Unit. We would like to introduce ourselves. My name is Kathy Hoinga. I am an occupational therapist at the Assistive Technology Unit at UIC.
Hi, I'm Becky Heimerling. Sorry. Technology. I'm Becky Heimerling, speech language pathologist at ICRE.
Hi, I'm Ida Christopher, and I'm a student here at ICRE.
Hi, everyone. My name is Abigail Thomas. I'm an occupational therapist, and I worked with Kathy and Jim during my OTV project.
I'm Jim Graham. I'm the equipment specialist and shop technician at the ATU.
So we wanted to tell you a little bit about our two programs. So the Assistive Technology Unit at UIC, our home department is in the Department of Disability and Human Development. We are a mobile unit. We provide clinical services to people in their community, home, workplace, or school. Assistive technology is defined as any piece of equipment or device or method that helps someone to achieve their functional goal or to improve their functioning. So that covers a wide range. So at the Assistive Technology Unit, we cover a wide range of clinical services. So we have services in home modifications, wheelchairs, seating and positioning, activities of daily living, computer access for augmentative communication, and adaptive equipment. And you see a picture here of Jim, and he's in our shop. We have a shop at the Assistive Technology Unit where we're able to customize adaptive equipment for individuals' needs. So we have therapists on staff, OTs, PTs, speech and language pathologists, engineers, architects, and equipment specialists. And then one last thing, we also teach classes at the Assistive Technology Unit. We have an Assistive Technology Certificate program for working professionals who are interested in learning more about assistive technology.
So hi, I'm Becky, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about ICRE Roosevelt. We are just down the street from UIC ATU, which is very convenient. We're a part-time residential program focusing on pre-employment and transition skills for students ages 18 to 22. Our students have physical disabilities. Our focus is primarily on improving skills for independence in the community and post-secondary education, vocational outcomes. So after you complete high school, what's your next step?
Right, and like Becky said, ICRE Roosevelt is right on the corner of the UIC campus, so we don't really need to take our mobile units. We just walk over to ICRE Roosevelt.
Yes.
So our collaboration with ICRE started through services that we have, existing clinical services through the Department of Rehabilitation Services. But the programs we want to talk about today and the collaborations really started with one student at ICRE, and his name's Jerwayne, and we'll talk about him a little bit. But with his inspiration and motivation, it led to two grant projects. One grant project, an art and technology vocational program, and the second grant project for accessible classrooms. And then we were able to develop new clinical service in adaptive equipment, but utilizing 3D printing. And we're excited to share that with you tonight.
So this is Jerwayne. He was an ICRE student, very talented artist and a writer. And he used to draw lots of things with pen and pencil, pen and paper, pencil and paper, but he was losing that ability. And so we said, how can we keep that alive in him? So we reached out to UIC Assistive Tech and we said, what can we do?
So I came and I met with Jerwayne, and we talked about how he might be able to use computers to do his artwork and what kinds of access methods he might need for that. And when we were talking, and how he might really look at how to move his art into a more of a digital direction. And when we were talking, we realized, hey, this would be nice equipment for all the students at ICRE to have. So Jerwayne and Becky and myself, and there actually happened to be a physical therapy student who was a lens student at the time working on a project. So we all got together and collaborated on a grant project to try to bring this digital art and technology to ICRE. So we submitted our grant proposal and we were able to obtain funding through grant funding through the Department of Human Services, Vocational Services. It was sort of at the end of this grant funding. So these were leftover funds. So they were somewhat a short-term grant, but we were awarded one and we took that grant, and even though it was a short period of time, we did the most we could with that. We were able to bring on a biomedical engineering student to help us. And we were able to take one of the rooms at ICRE and convert it into a classroom. We were able to get 10 student workstations with computers and height adjustable desks. So, you know, whatever wheelchair somebody might be in, they'd be able to move that desk to what the level that would work for them. And we wanted to get just assistive technology for everyone. So we had a wide range of assistive technology so that if somebody could only move their head, they could still participate in this program. If they needed to use eye gaze, they could participate. Or if they even just had a small amount of movement with their finger, they could take part in this program. So we were able to get the Adobe suite products with Photoshop and InDesign. And we also partnered with a group called Artists for Harmony, who came in and created a mural in this room and really made it an engaging space that students could come to and really be creative and be independent in doing their artwork.
So actually, Ida and I are sitting in that room right now, and you know, something kind of incredible happened. Several incredible things happened, but when we had been teaching some of the computer-based activities in the past, we didn't realize how slow we were going. And once we were able to find access for all the students and find their method, they were picking it up really quickly because they were doing the work. And we found that we had to kind of catch up and move a little faster than we normally did because they were really getting it. So here's Jerwayne, an example for you of his setup. He needed to recline in his chair in order to be comfortable. He used a single switch, just used, I think, his thumb and index finger, and his desk is higher. And the monitor is actually on a monitor arm, which is very long and extended out kind of over him. And through that, he was able to create several books, which he was able to sell. He did most of his art not from, you know, picking items on the internet and just, you know, editing them a little bit. He created a lot of it himself through different techniques that he learned in Photoshop. He would go online and train himself, and we'd be like, how did you do that? But it was exciting because he had access and he could move at his rate, which he did.
I forgot to mention, we actually had artists with disabilities in the community come in to help create this art and digital program for this project.
Mm-hmm.
Because that project was so successful, ICRE Roosevelt submitted for another grant to now create 3 more accessible classrooms. So we were part of this grant. And so we converted 3 of the classrooms. We used the same type of workstation setups. But this time we tried to incorporate also the sound system. So if anybody had difficulties with hearing, we had monitors all around the room. So if students anywhere could see what was being taught in the classroom. We wanted to make sure that all the electrical was there weren't any wires that somebody could trip over. You see, we have this accessible ramp going into the room, but this is a raised flooring and all the electrical is underneath that flooring. And again, we made sure to get as much of the, we got a lot of assistive technology again. So students with, so we could help students with whatever abilities they have to participate in these programs. And then those are the two grant programs that we were involved with. And we wanted to tell you about a clinical program and how we were able to sort of advance that clinical program using 3D printing. So this is our 3D printing and adaptive equipment clinic. Adaptive equipment is one of those areas that I talked about in assistive technology. And this is really looking at custom design. So when something that's commercially available isn't sufficient, then we look at custom designs or modifying. And for the students at ICRE, the devices that really were beneficial to them were phone holders, water bottle holders, and elevator access devices. And we'll show you a little bit of that right now.
So we started this adaptive equipment clinic, and we actually hold this clinic collaboratively, UIC Assistive Tech and staff from ICRE, and it's every other week. And it has started from being a staff-led clinic to being a student-led clinic. And Ida can talk about that.
Hi, I'm the manager of the clinic, and basically what I do is take down notes for the clinic. I make sure that everyone is getting seen. I put down my ideas on what I think the students may need. It's a really collaborative environment, and we all kind of bounce off each other's ideas, and we talk to each other about certain things and what the students might need. And then the students come to me even when it's not during clinic time, and they tell me what they need and everything, and I observe the students throughout the day to make sure that no student is struggling. And if I do see someone struggling, I report it to Becky.
At the ATU in the shop, we have all kinds of old school fabrication devices at hand. But it has turned out that 3D printing is really just an ideal method of producing a lot of adaptive equipment inexpensively and relatively quickly. Anything that can be drawn with modeling software, 3D modeling software, can then be produced on the printer. And that gives us just tremendous flexibility in terms of customization of pieces, just perfectly suited to the person or the wheelchair or the device at hand. And then once we've come up with a solution for one student, it's often a very simple matter to tweak that design to make it suitable for another person. Pardon me. As was mentioned before, the hot items are a place to stash your phone, a place to stash your drink, and a way if you have difficulty just reaching over and pushing an elevator button to call the elevator, or once you're inside, just a stick that's adapted to that purpose.
So that's me using my elevator stick. As you can see, I do use it for the elevator buttons, but it's a lot more to me. I use it to push up my glasses. I use it to put my hair out of my face, or when there's bags in high reach places, I kind of loop it through the little hole and I get it off the hook and everything. So it's not just something that's just an elevator stick and can be used for a lot more. And the way that I use my elevator stick may be different from how another student uses their elevator stick. But yeah.
So this is obviously a stick, but it's a pretty jazzed up stick. We've got three 3D printed components in addition to the aluminum rod on the air, ranging from what you see at the bottom there, a little rubber-like flexible tip, and that's 3D printed from a polyurethane material. Then up at the top, you see a knob, and below that, a bracket that the knob fits into. And these are not so much for the function of the stick, but to give it a place to live on Ida's wheelchair, so it doesn't just have to stay on her lap. These are different materials too. The knob has to be of a hard plastic. The bracket in the center has to be of a almost flexible material that is able to give in response to blows from, offending door jams, etc. This has been an evolving process. We originally gave her a hard bracket on her wheelchair. That didn't last very long, so we realized we had to go flexible with that. And then just as of today, Ida's added a 3D printed handle onto her stick in response to some feedback from her. So. Phone holders, big item. Everybody's got the phone. It's got to be quickly accessible. Oftentimes for students who are out in the community riding public transportation, it needs to be in a place where the phone can't be easily snatched away. So here you see a very basic design. It's a plastic pocket with a wider top that's easy to slip the phone into. And here, the student, we tucked it between his hip and his armrest so that it's easily accessible, but not easily grabbable.
Yeah, and the importance of the phone holder is basically when the students have them on their laps, you know, they can easily slip and fall, and then they get broken. And then even we have students that go in the elevator, and the little elevator shaft, the student's phone drops in it, and that's just not a good day for anyone. So
that's definitely a bad day.
Definitely a bad day.
When your phone gets broken.
Some students need a little bit more help with their phone, not just a place to stow it, but some way to hold it in position for use. So that was the case with this student who had a very limited range of motion and needed the phone to be in a very precise place for her to be able to access it easily. Unfortunately, that place was slightly in front of her and would have impeded easy transfers in and out of the chair. So we needed to create a mount that could easily pivot off to the side. So with a flick of the wrist, she could send the phone off to her left and clear the space in front of her for transferring in and out.
So cup holders are popular items also. You want to have your water or other drink available. This is one guy who had using his water bottle, and this is a flip down cup holder. It's been adapted so that it can fit onto his lap tray here.
Hi, and that's me again. Using the soft cup holder. I used to have the flip cup holder you saw in the previous picture, but it did not work for me very well. The reason why I like the soft cup holder a lot better is because it can take a lot more damage. Not saying that I'm a bad driver, because I'm an excellent driver. But when I am outside in the community and someone bumps it or someone hits it, or I'm in the elevator or anything like that can happen, it can take a lot more damage due to something else.
Okay, so as part of my OTD study, I chose to complete my internship at the Assistive Technology Unit, and I had a lot of great opportunities to work with ICRE and the Adaptive Equipment Clinic as well. So as part of that, so as 3D printing, obviously it got very popular with everybody seeing all the cool different designs, and ICRE actually got their own 3D printer, which was really cool as part of the, you know, the opportunity to increase vocational skills, right? So me, myself, Kathy and Jim, we all three of us, we actually worked together to kind of lead a workshop and actually kind of go through the entire process about 3D printing, from, you know, the whole mechanics of it, kind of feeding the filament into the printer, and also kind of taking it a step further and having them, you know, provide them with the open source resources online that they could look and look for specific things, specific items that could be really beneficial to them, and then taking it an even step further and actually prepping the design and sending it to their printer. And I'm sure Ida and Becky can testify of how it's been implemented and beneficial to this day. And then we have a couple of examples we wanted to show. So one example in this picture is just one individual with cerebral palsy who he found the specific water bottle opener from one open source website called thingiverse.com. So that was just the start of it, right? And it just kind of showed that this is something that they can do on their own, and it's just another skill to kind of advocate for their own needs and use the resources available to do that on their own. And then in addition, so as part of my OTD project, I led a continuing education course about the use of 3D printing in occupational therapy for practitioners. And I did it in a team approach as I had Jim and Kathy, and I thought it would be an awesome opportunity to have Ida there as well, just to kind of, have her perspective on a user of 3D printing, and also seeing it in use for so many different things. So all of the participants that were there, it could definitely testify that whole collaborative experience definitely added to just the value of 3D printing and all of the benefits that we've been talking about so far.
Yes.
And just to highlight, so some of with the whole collaboration from a student perspective, it was definitely a learning opportunity for both me as a student and also as iCree in general, right? So we also had the opportunity to trial a new 3D printing technology, which is 3D scanning. So we would basically, we use it with Ida, in which we, instead of making a 3D model from a CAD design, we use a specific laser to capture an item and there's specific technology to convert that into a 3D file. So with Ida, we had the opportunity to create a custom built-up handle for her to help her to write, as you can see in that picture. And then we also had the opportunity to kind of teach them more about research and outcome measures too, in addition to the adaptive equipment clinic, to kind of learn about specific ways to kind of keep track of their outcomes and measure progress. So overall, it was a great, learning opportunity for both, the iCree students and me as a student as well.
Yes, it was extremely great.
So, we have really enjoyed this partnership, and it continues right now. It's just been a valued partnership for all of us.
Absolutely. So, when you talk about impact and success, it's really kind of hard to measure and hard to put on a slide. We do have these wonderful accessible classrooms and new programs. And I think what we have also seen is incredible growths from our students, and looking at what do I need for myself. I had some students today thinking, wow, when I move into my apartment, what am I going to need there? Oh, I'm going to need you to make me this. And so it's really exciting to see them thinking that way and thinking how they can become more independent. We did, Abby, I don't think we've been told you, we ordered more 3D printers.
Oh yeah.
So we're hoping to develop a little maker space ourselves so we can actually have students doing that. We have a couple of students that are interested in that vocationally. So it's a real opportunity for them.
From a student's perspective here at iCree, it definitely has opened up a lot of independence for myself and for my peers. I definitely do see them now advocating for themselves a lot more. I see them gaining a lot more independence, and I just see an overall amazing amount of growth. And also for work as well, because I run the clinic and everything, it has opened my eyes and doors into possibly working within the assistive technology clinic as a career. So it has opened up a lot of doors for myself and other people.
And the benefit really flows both ways. I mean, we, from a perspective of someone who's designing the adaptive equipment, it's very easy when you're sitting at your desk in front of the computer to dream something up, but then how that performs in the real world, you don't often get a chance to really see that. And because we have this ongoing relationship with iCree, and we're in constant contact with the students to whom 3 months ago we delivered a piece of equipment, we see how, in frankly pretty brutal circumstances, Ida, you are a great driver, but not everyone is. So, we often see the gruesome results of 3 months of hard use, and realize, well, okay, got to go back to the drawing board with this, beef it up, try a different material, and our design skills improve and evolve as a consequence.
And it's been nice having students that really help us to take things to in new directions. And with Abby coming on, we were able to now create a 3D printing program for the assistive technology certificate program students that we have. So there are special ed teachers and therapists that are learning about 3D printing. We teach this class every summer now. And so it just carries on all that we've learned here at with iCree Roosevelt. And I think this has just been a great opportunity for all of us, a great learning experience, both for UIC and ICRE students, as well as the staff.
So I actually wanted to talk about this because the potential for future growth is exciting. There are unlimited opportunities, and you just really never know the effect something's going to have until you try it. And I think we were able to see the benefit that we could never have predicted. So our opportunities are unlimited. The sky is definitely the limit. Our customers lead us, and our customers are our students. They have ideas, they are determined, they advocate, and they get to see their product when it's done. And that's exciting. So collaboration always leads to new growth. So we're excited to see what's around the corner.
We're always open to new classes or new ideas. There's grants out there that we can do something new. We'll go for it. I want to thank you all for coming to this breakout session and letting us share our collaboration efforts between UIC Assistive Technology Unit and ICRE Roosevelt and the students that have really helped us to develop these programs and go in multiple different directions. But does anybody have any questions?
There's one in the chat, Kathy.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so we have a question. Is this open to the public? In other words, can a doctor at any UIC clinic refer a patient? So, you know, we have grant programs at the Assistive Technology Unit. We have clinical services that we provide. It kind of depends on the clinical service for if you want to refer somebody. As far as ICRE Roosevelt, how does somebody get involved with ICRE Roosevelt?
They're generally referred through their district, their school district, but anybody can give us a call. If you need that contact information, I can provide it. We can steer you in the right direction.
Does anybody else have any questions?
There's another question in the chat.
How can alumnus, oh wait, sorry. How can alumnus be trained in 3D printing courses? So, you know what, the 3D printing course that Abby and I run is in the summer, and it's through Extended Campus. So if you're interested in taking that 3D printed course and learning more about 3D printing, specifically for working with individuals with disabilities, we'd love to have you take the class.
Yeah, we've run it 2 times so far, so it's going to be ongoing every summer, completely online.
Okay. What I meant is, what if it is an older person? Are you so to referring somebody for services? And we see all ages at the Assistive Technology Unit, so it depends on what clinical service you're looking for. But you can contact the Assistive Technology Unit and find out more information as to if we're able to help your patient. We have a question here. How was the space designed? Electrical, desks, etc. Wow, that's a loaded question. So, you know, so Becky, Marty, myself, we did Glenn Hedman, he heads up the Assistive Technology Unit. We all worked on creating that space. We had designing that space. We worked with the construction group to lay out that the classes, to really build the classrooms, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But we designed what we wanted it to look like where how many desks we were going to have, making sure that it was accessible, what kinds of assistive technology we wanted. It was a big project.
Yeah, we had to, follow the rules for making sure there was access. We removed some walls, and it even came down to hard decisions like what color should we paint the walls? That was a hard one.
But it was a learning process for all of us, even just learning about the air conditioning that needed to be in each of the rooms. given how much heat was coming off of the electrical devices. So there were several levels of putting those classrooms together. We quickly showed them to you, but it was a year-long project.
Yeah, we would come up with a great design for the class and then meet with the electrician and they'd say, you can't do that. So then it was back to the drawing board.
Right. Someone else, did you say students are able to create their own designs and send them to the 3D printer?
Yes, they are able to create their own designs. So a lot of them download things that are available and then make adjustments to them. But we've had a few students that have started from scratch and probably have better skills than me and have just been able to run with it. So it's nice to be able to offer that continuum.
Definitely 3D modeling is a difficult skill for sure.
It requires an artist's hand.
Yeah, but there are free 3D modeling programs on the internet. So Tinkercad has a modeling program and you can make adjustments to designs. But I think like Abby was talking about, there's so much that's available out there on different repositories that you can download and make adjustments there. Are there other organizations or individuals, perhaps from any other health professions or fields, that could add or contribute to this partnership, and what might that look like? You know what? Well, I feel like the occupational therapists that have come in have really added to the program. Definitely, yes. I think more students coming in. We're always looking to advance the art program that we have going. So I think bringing in somebody from the art department might be helpful, maybe working in combination with an OT student could, and really sort of taking things to a new level there, or really somebody in art and design art design or engineering that works with 3D printing and maybe, advance some of the 3D printing that we do. That would be great.
Yeah, or even engineering students too, right? To really take in that perspective of design thinking and, designing with the individual.
Yeah, and designing with the students.
Yeah.
Great.
We have, what about from the student perspective?
Regarding,
I'm not sure what the question, what about from the student perspective? From the ICRE students, or from hearing additional partnerships, resources, or both?
Are there any partnerships that you can think of? You haven't really thought about it.
No, not really.
I think I really like the idea of really trying to bring somebody in from that can, students with OT and and
like how
art
I was
design.
saying, like with the whole job and everything, like making it a job and actually going and working, since we've already collaborated with UIC multiple times. It wouldn't be a bad experience. I'd actually love to do something like that.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any questions? We have just a couple minutes yet.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you, everybody. We really appreciate you coming to this breakout session and being able to share what we've done. It's been an exciting collaboration for all of us, and we really enjoy the programs that we've been able to develop and continue developing.
Oh, they asked, how can they get in touch with you with additional questions?
So I think, I'm not sure if something's being sent out, but we can give you our email addresses, or you can look up the Assistive Technology Unit online. I think Erica may have put that in the chat, and that will give you information on how you can reach us at the Assistive Technology Unit. We can get you in touch with Becky or Ida if you ever have any questions for them, or with Abby.
Great, thank you so much to all of the presenters, and the Advancement Office will be sending a follow-up email that will contain a recording of the presentation and also the contact information of the presenters. So if you wanted to follow up, that will be made available to you. And so now we're going to be moving to the main room for a brief wrap up and goodbye. So if you can hit the leave button, you'll be redirected to the main room. Thank you again to all the presenters and for everyone here who joined us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's my time.
Well, I hope everyone really enjoyed their breakout session. I'd like to issue a very brief but important note of thanks to a few very special people who helped make this event happen. That includes our AHS student worker, Afra Wahid, and our AHS graphic designer and web developer, Heidi Schlelang. I would also like to issue a very special thanks to my two great colleagues who have done so much to make this happen, and that's Erica Chavez and Kristen Kepnick, who are members of our AHS advancement team. There's no way this great event would have been pulled off without all they've done for it. Thank you both and all for making this event a great success. We are very much looking forward to sharing details about AHS Celebrates in 2022 in the near future. But until then, we just love to say thank you so much for joining us this evening, and we hope you all have a great night. Take care. Bye-bye.